Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Cooper, president of the BCA, and I'm welcoming everybody here for our March virtual 2021 BIOCOMM. It's great that we have 27 people registered, which is terrific. And I am going to now turn it over to Connie Johansson, our director of conferences. Take it away, Connie.
Hi, once again, I just wanted to welcome everybody to BIOCOMM 2021, our virtual experience, our first virtual experience, but this is our third Zoom session. And I think it's been going really well. So I just wanted to say welcome everybody. If anybody wants to give a talk besides an Infoshare, send me an email. If you want to do Infoshare, just let Jim Kepler know. He's the master of ceremonies today, so take it away, Jim.
Thank you, and yes, welcome all to our Infoshare for 2021, Virtual BIOCOMM 2021. By way of introduction, my name is obviously Jim Kepler. The name is right there on the screen. I'm a medical photographer at Boston Children's Hospital in Massachusetts, and I am the Secretary Treasurer of the BCA. And the interesting thing about Infoshare is that it's a pretty informal get together of ideas. We always say that if you have a favorite app that you can't live without, or a really cool technique that speeds up your workflow, or you've repurposed some old equipment to perform new tasks, or you found a new toy, or you made a new toy. Basically, we all want to hear about it. I'd like to introduce Bob Turner for our third presentation. Bob, if you could introduce yourself and take it away.
Thanks, Jim. I've always enjoyed Infoshare for many years. As you said with your introduction, Infoshare typically is very informal, and believe me, this portion will be very informal. My name is Bob Turner. I'm here, I've been retired just 10 years now. I was in the field as a biomedical photographer since 1969. And my most recent position was 31 years at the Scripps Research Institute in La Jolla, California. And in the virtual image behind me, that's the cliffs at Torrey Pines. And that's about a mile north of where my office was. Now, my presentation here is really a report of more of an update of a project that I've been working on for a couple of years. And the results of this project will cause 12 papers to be submitted to the Journal of Biocommunication, and concurrently 12 audio posts which will be published on BCA's website. It's a total length of 3¼ hours of lectures. And the lecturer is the late Richard Byrne. Now, I think there's only 4 people present on this group: Tom Merrill, Tom Hirchin, Gabe Unda, and Chuck Greiner, who may recall the lecture that Richard did in 1976 at Bio 76 in Las Vegas. It was truly a watershed moment for many people in the field. That particular meeting was the first bio meeting of, at the time, BPA, AMI, ABCD, and there were, I believe, close to 800 attendees. It was a different time, but Dr. Byrne's presentation was truly a benchmark for many people in the field, and I still hear people from that vintage making references to his keynote address. Now, Dr. Byrne at the time was the dean at the school, the Annenberg School of Communication at USC. After that address, he went on to participate in a couple of other BPA activities. In the late 70s, a BPA regional meeting, and he hosted a BPA workshop at USC. And then later, and this is getting close to the subject of his talks. At Bio 84, Synthesis, it was called, he gave the keynote address called Breakthrough. Then he left USC and he became a highly regarded speaker, motivational speaker throughout the world. And finally, in 1988, he produced, virtual backgrounds. He produced, I don't know if you can see this, the book with 6 sets of tapes, double-sided. And it's 3.5 hours, and it's entitled Breakthrough Championship Living in a Computer Age. Now, is this material dated? Absolutely. From the first time we heard Dr. Byrne, that was 44 years ago. And then this technology is 32 years old. And there's actually some chuckles you'll get out of hearing some of his content, because it talks about floppy disks and this idea of email and such. So I will immediately agree that it's dated material, but his approach philosophically about how to deal with technology, how to deal with change, and in light of what we've all experienced in the last year or so with COVID, it couldn't be more relevant today. So I'm only going to play about 1 minute and 45 seconds worth, just so you can get a hint of his content. Hold on, please.
We live in an incredible age. It's an amazing moment in time. Every day I thank God that I'm alive right now. I don't think there's any time in human history that's as exciting as what's going on right now. Not the golden age of Athens, not Elizabethan England. It's just unbelievable. We're in an age of breakthrough, tremendous quantum leaps forward, the development of new technologies, new computers, bionic parts for the human body. It's just absolutely unbelievable to me what the human being is accomplishing. I want human beings to be able to accomplish the same kind of dramatic leaps forward in their own personal lives. So what this tape package is about is to explain to you the computer age. What is the computer age? Is, in fact, there really a computer age? Are we living in one? Will it have an effect on you? Do you need to learn how to use a computer? We'll talk about those issues in these tapes. Second thing is, I think we all need to learn championship living. How do we cope with the challenges of a computer age? What is it like to work on a championship organization, to be on a championship team, to live a championship life, where we go for the very best all the time? We're going to have to deal with uncertainty. There are going to be changes in our lives. Organizations are changing. Read the newspaper, look at television, listen to the news on the radio. It's happening all the time. And somehow we have to cope with that. Every championship team has reverses. They're behind at the half. They're behind at the third quarter. It really doesn't matter. That's the booby prize. What matters is the score at the end of the game. And so I'm going to talk with you about techniques for championship living. And finally,
Well, that gives you just a sample to whet your appetites. The 12 tapes have already been transcribed. I have those as Word files ready. They'll be mailed in tomorrow, along with the tapes to JBC, and the cassettes will be converted into MP3 to post on BCA's website. I understand through the grapevine there's going to be a revised history page. And I'll end by saying, if any of you folks ever heard talks by our good friend Dan Patton and talking about his positive utils, you'll really appreciate Dr. Byrne's presentations. As he says, he's waiting for you, when you're listening to the tapes, to have a little ping go off in your head to create an idea to perhaps get you out of a rut. And the information is absolutely wonderful and very much encouraging. So I'll stop at this point.
Bob, thank you. I just want everyone to know that Bob has been a real champion of Infoshare for years. He's always been the moderator. I mean, as far back as I can remember. So it's really good to have you here, Bob, to continue that. It's really appreciated.